Hey friend, today we're going to be talking about how to implement your beta reader feedback into your edits and kind of about that stuff, which is great because that's kind of where I'm at right now. I have been going through my manuscript and basically making notes to myself, so let's just jump into this. And if you're new here, I would love to have you join in the fun. I love to chat about writing and publishing tips, and I also love doing interviews with people in the publishing world. So if that sounds interesting to you, be sure to hit subscribe down below, and we'll have a super fun time. Also hit the like button, and that'll help other people find this content too. Okay, so when it comes to beta reader feedback, it can be kind of hard sometimes. Sometimes you'll get good, and sometimes you'll get maybe more negative feedback as well, but that both are really good and important for you to develop as a writer, to become a better writer. Because when you get feedback like this isn't the best, this could be improved, then you know what you can improve and what you need to work on in order to become a better writer. So I'm going to kind of show you my process here, and I am one that loves to print out my manuscript and everything, but of course I don't want to waste a bunch of paper right now, so I've been using my iPad, and there's this app that I really love. I'm not affiliated or anything to them, but oh my gosh, I love them, and I just want to tell you about this amazing app that you guys can use with your edits. So if you're going through your book and leaving yourself notes, it's a really cool app to use. So it is called Notes Plus. So if you have an iPad, you can hop into your iPad and open it up like this, and you'll have your PDF here, and you can actually write notes with your or draw but you can leave yourself notes while you're working on your book. So even here you can see that I have notes on there and stuff like that, because I'm normally the type of person that loves to print my manuscript, to leave myself notes and everything, and sometimes I will. But sometimes I'm like, okay, I just did that, so I'm not going to print it all out again. And once I finish this book, I'm going to print it all and go through it then. But yeah, I love this app. So anyways, this is what I've been doing. So this is my process. So I send it to my alpha readers after it's done, and my alpha readers kind of get to see more of a rough draft version of the story. And I try to ask them, to watch out for plot things. And it's kind of almost like the developmental edit, sort of making sure the story is there and the plot is there, so that the plot and the story and everything can move forward. And if it's not, my alpha readers are so good at giving me feedback on okay, this doesn't seem realistic whatsoever, or this should be fixed. I love my alpha readers for that. So after that, I end up going through their feedback and kind of looking at my story, thinking, okay, what do I need to improve how do I make this better? How do I move forward and make this story all that it's supposed to be? So I go through my alpha reader feedback, and basically what I do is I grab a notebook, and I just start by writing down notes in my notebook. Alpha Reader 1 said this, for chapter 1, this needs to be changed, this doesn't make sense, blah, 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 blah. And I do that for each chapter throughout the whole book. And then after that, I end up reading through it again. Sometimes I need a couple weeks between reading it again, just because I feel like I can see it with new eyes. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I see how that looks really bad or whatnot. So I can see what my alpha readers think. Or same thing with beta readers. So after I've gone through my alpha reader feedback, and I've also read through the book and kind of see where they're talking about things or whatnot, then I make changes. So these are plot changes, just plot changes. And then after that edit, I end up sending it to my beta readers. And with my beta readers, I send it out to them, and they keep it for about a week, which is really nice because they're really fast and really good. I love them. So after that, then they end up reading it and leaving me feedback. I do all my beta reader and alpha reader stuff in Google Docs, just because it's so easy to send it to them, and so easy to get their comments in the side, and for them to highlight things or write things in the document, it's just so much easier. So I just work in there with that a lot, and I've had a lot of luck with that. So I definitely recommend doing that in Google Docs because it's just so easy, just so easy. And so anyways, when it's with the beta readers, it's with them for about a week. And then they get it back to me and it has like their notes in it and everything. And it's just so helpful. And then, so when I'm going through it, I seriously, you guys, like when I first started working with beta readers and alpha readers, I got so nervous because like when I get my feedback from my beta readers and stuff, I kind of would go into this like, oh no, do I suck? Am I a bad writer? Oh my goodness, like this, like that. And it's imposter syndrome, Like I feel like we all, whether we're a writer, a dancer, a singer, we all worry if we're any good. And then when you have alpha readers and beta readers and they're like, okay, that's really good, that's great, this needs to be changed. I mean, they also tell you what good things there are. So you don't have to feel like you're this sucky writer. So that's another good reason to have alpha readers and beta readers that I enjoy having them because they help with that too. So after you've gotten your beta reader feedback back, then I go through and I make more notes. I write down like chapter 1, and then underneath that I write down like Sarah, the beta reader, says this needs to be blah, 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 blah. And I put it in there. And then maybe Caitlin, the other beta reader, has feedback for chapter 1. I write her feedback in there too. And I do that throughout the whole book, throughout all the chapters. And then I give myself a little bit of time and read through the book again. So this time I read it through and leave myself notes. And that's what I'm currently doing here in this document right here. I am reading through it and leaving myself notes. Like here, I'll show you what my notes kind of look like. Like, look, there's less right there. Oop, there's more there. And I've highlighted stuff, written stuff on the sides. Rework, delete dialogue. Add more movement here. Yeah, so anyways, I leave myself notes in here. And then after I finish the read through, and I really do emphasize like giving yourself like, every writer's different, but like I feel like since I've been really just working very hard on this book for the last few months, I've just been ingrained in it, and that's just my brain has been like stuck in it and there hasn't been a way out. So it really has helped to just kind of escape from it a little bit and put it over there, leave it for 2 weeks. I left it for 2 weeks and I didn't work on it at all because I was just almost overwhelmed feeling. So anyways, then my beta reader feedback is here, and then my feedback, my thoughts, and my notes are here because you know what? Sometimes after you've read your notes, after you've read through the manuscript again and written notes, sometimes you'll find that even like maybe something a beta reader mentioned, they had a good point or a good idea, but it doesn't match up with what you want. So then you can go and cross out the beta reader feedback, or if it's like really important and you're like, oh yes, that is so true what she said, highlight it, and then it'll be easier to see it when you're making edits. Okay. So now my hair is just like, sorry about that, you guys. It's just a ponytail sort of day. So this is what I would recommend if you're going to sit down and start revising your manuscript with your beta reader feedback as well as your notes, because I think it's super important to have your notes, but also your beta reader feedback in front of you. So basically, I would just start out and go to chapter 1 and, kind of like reread what the beta reader said, and then also reread what your notes said about chapter 1. And this is a really good time to think too, okay, what is moving this story forward? Like, how is this chapter helping this book move forward with the character goals, motivations, and also their misbelief. Like, how are you inputting that? There's a lot to think about with edits and stuff, and it's just I don't want to get too deep in it just yet because there's tons of other videos that are going to go into that deeper. But I also like to put like at the top of the chapter when I'm leaving notes. So this is a little sidetrack thing here, but you can go back to here, is setting. You can write setting and then leave yourself notes of like the setting and like for where the character's at or whatnot, what characters are involved. This will just get you thinking so that when you're having like conversations with multiple characters, you can be thinking about those different personalities. Another thing to have that you could write at the top of your chapter page is senses. So visuals, what do they see? It's like in an old hotel inn, so there's going to be like Victorian decoration and old floral carpets and wooden floors. And so these are all things I'll write on that first chapter page, or on each chapter heading page. I write these things. So just so that I'm thinking about these things while I'm reading, because like when you first sit down to write the book, you see it all in your mind and you think you've written it all down, but sometimes, like, at least while I've been revising and like, or at least leaving myself notes, I'm like, okay, where are they right now? It's like talking heads here. I don't know who this is talking and where they are. So these are things that we think we're talking about when we tell the story. We think that we're writing down, but we're not writing it down because it's all in our brain and it's there, you know? So that's why I do emphasize like the importance of giving yourself like 1 week, 2 week, you know, if you can do longer, great. But the importance of finishing the book and getting it done is really, really important too. So that's why I gave myself 2 weeks to just set aside and everything. But I've really found that helpful at the top page to say, okay, so on the page it says like chapter 1 or chapter 2 or whatnot, have setting, have characters involved with this scene, have emotions in this scene, so that you can just remember to add these things when you are making notes and also when you're doing your revision, because sometimes these things are stepped over and forgotten. Also, what other things would I write up there? So yeah, senses, visuals, smells, sounds. Like right now here in North Dakota, it's a warm day and we've got huge icicles over here hanging off the side of our building and our house, and there's like, oh my gosh, and they're like dripping, like drip, and I can hear the dripping. And it actually sounds like spring. So like if you were to have that in a book, you'd want to make sure that your character could hear the dripping, and so that you could show it to your readers and not tell, of course. So yeah, these are all different things that you can like think about putting on that first chapter page, or, you know, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, just so that you can think about those things when you're doing your revision. So I would just sit down now at your computer with your notes that you have and your beta reader feedback, and just start reading chapter 1 and making changes. Usually you'll kind of have an idea of what you want to change after you've read through the manuscript and everything, and you kind of see, okay, I like this, I don't like this, I need to change that, I need to delete that, and then read through your beta reader feedback and you'll be like, oh yep, okay, oh yeah, I have to put that in there. So then you're just kind of taking your notes and your beta reader feedback and meshing them together and everything, because number one, you're the author. This is your story. You need to write it and do it how you want it written. So sometimes you'll get feedback from beta readers that they're trying to help, and that's great, but sometimes it's more so motivated on what they think would be cool in the story. And sometimes they have great ideas, but you have to remember to not to change the story just because a beta reader said to do that. You want to make sure you stay true to your writing and how you want it to come across as well. So yeah, that is kind of how I do my beta reader feedback, how I implement it with my notes as well. And I hope that you find that helpful and everything. I've really, really been enjoying doing my read through of my manuscript here and making notes and just, it's like, okay, this is really good, or oh, this is boring. And you know what? Another little bonus tip, if you ever feel like when you're reading and you're like, this is boring, I want to skip this. Your readers are probably thinking the same thing. Yeah. So you're probably going to want to cross it out and figure out a way to say it with less words or in a more exciting way. There is this one spot in my manuscript where they go to the attic to be looking for like Halloween decorations, and I was like thinking, well, it's kind of a little bit, and then I'm like, oh, well, you know what? I could add. One of the characters is going to dress up in a Halloween decoration and scare the other one, and that'll add some funny humor and make it more exciting and everything. So sometimes when you are bored, it's just because something's missing or it needs to be written differently. So I hope that you found this video helpful and everything. I've really been enjoying going through this whole process and getting to know people, my beta readers, so much better. They're like my friends and I love them. So if you're my beta reader, alpha reader, I love you guys. If you aren't a beta reader, alpha reader, but you're interested in being an alpha reader or beta reader, sign up in the application below. Oh, I'd love to have you as a beta reader. I'm always looking for more beta readers and everything. So yeah, so I hope that you enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. If you're new here, be sure to hit the subscribe so we can hang out more. See you guys later. Bye.